Australians love a podcast. We are leading in the world as Australians to any other country. At Novak, 65,000 listens to our podcast, over 2 million views a year. What do you do next?
Stay
You
tuned.
build a Zoom room. Stay tuned. We're going to show you our new Zoom room. Zoom, zoom, zoom.
We are doing the grand reveal. The grand reveal.
So, Billy Drury, the old man, a young man's body realtor, Mark Novak, principal of Novak Properties, and as my title says, Nutty Professor. I had to invent a lot of this Zoom room, which we're going to show you today.
Well, this is kind of your making, so I won't take credit for it. I'll just show it off this morning. You are the nutty professor behind this madness, which I think at the start, before it all came together, I was going, "What on earth are we doing here?" It seems like Mark's made his life harder, so I hope for his sake that it's going to, all tie together in the vision, which I think it has.
Let's have a look through. So before we have a look around at the new Zoom room, it's really changed our business, social media, and I'll tell you how it's changed our business the most. When I used to pitch to a client that would have 3 or 4 real estate agents, from a standing start, they wouldn't have had a relationship with the agents. They wouldn't have known the agents and how they've operated. And how social media in the last 3, 4, 5 years has exploded in our business is it's actually begun relationships a lot earlier than we ever knew. So now when we're sitting in people's kitchen table, at their dining room table, pitching for their business to use us to sell or to use us to rent and manage their property, half of the job is already done. They've been following us. They've connected with us. They actually know us, or that's what they say. They feel they know us. So it's really, now when we're doing a presentation for someone that's selling or buy or renting, it's really more of an affirmation meeting rather than a total interview.
Yeah, there's a bit of history there, and it's always nice when you feel like you know someone. It's like a celebrity. It's like, I feel like I know you from a movie or something. You look familiar. I think that's what we get.
And people love property, so I think when they're getting good local information from their realtor, where they used to traditionally have to force themselves to make a call and ask all the questions, now they can actually just browse while they're in bed on the lounge and learn about their local real estate.
That's it. So this is Novak HQ Broadcasting Center that we're standing in right now, and what better way to just flip the camera around and get on with the tour?
Flick it around, go solo on your layout, and then let's talk you through it.
So I'm gonna do it from this side, but no, I'm not. I'm gonna try and turn the camera around altogether for you guys, just so I can see what I'm showing you.
A nice wide view. Can we start from outside, Billy Bob, first, just to explain? I guess first of all, let's talk about the structure itself. So we're a real estate company. And I'll get you to close the toilet door for me because that's ugly. And let's at the front door of the office, you walk in at the front door, and there's a front door there, and you walk in the front door, and we're like a cafe-style environment. So you walk in, there's a coffee bar, which is where there's someone that'll make you a coffee, and then you'll ask your real estate questions, and your salesperson or your rentals person will pop down, sit down over a coffee, and discuss real estate. Now, if we're presenting, we will generally use the steel table here, And first of all, what we needed, and there's a couple things at once that was this actually covered. There's a big telly there. So can we turn that telly on, Billy Bob?
Yep.
So we're 90% finishing the room, but we're so excited we had to show you guys. So this actual television is an 85-inch television that sits on the wall. Now, if you go to the top of the telly, Billy, people will see a hinge. Can you show us the hinges on the top?
I think that's on the computer.
So go to the top of the television, and there's hinges along that whole section. Can you go real close? No. So with your camera, go to the top of the telly and see the mechanical hinges. Up, 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 up further, not off the television. Okay, so there's hinges there. So why the hinges are there is that whole window opens like a hot dog stand. So you press a button, we're just waiting for the motor to come, and when that motor comes, that whole television will disappear. It'll open up like a garage door, and then you'll see straight into the Zoom room. Now, if we can take a step back 2 or 3 meters, Billy, to show people that whole room. So we built this room, and to give you a reference point of size, it's about 4 meters by about 3 meters. It's about half the size of a garage. We built this room in, and we had to sound insulate the room. So by sound insulating the room, the gyprock had to be special gyprock for sound insulation. The insulation inside the wall had to be inserted, and then also the way the timber was actually constructed. The timber on the outside is different to the inside, so there's no vibration through there. So when you sit in that room, there's a dead silence, and even with those doors, it's all sealed up nicely. So if you like, you can sit outside doing a presentation and use that television as a PC. Right there, present to the client your services, and on the PC is your document that you're delivering. Now let's go inside the Zoom room. So we do podcasts in here, we'll do our social media in here. The first problem we had was sound. We wanted it to be silent. The second problem that we had is that we wanted a green screen background. And the reason why people doing video casting want to have a green screen is because they want to cast behind them that they're on a beach. They want to cast behind them that they're in a studio. They want to cast behind them their company logo. So the green screen work is generally a necessity in the industry, where people always want to put any background they want, and green allows people to have any background they want. So we were the first, we've researched this a lot, and we're one of the first in Australia to do a green screen, which is actually AstroTurf. The reason I know is I did a hell of a lot of research and I couldn't find one when we were doing it. So, can we turn that big light on, Billy Bob?
Yep.
The big studio light. So the reason we put the green there was again for that background. The reason we used AstroTurf, it was also good for sound insulation. So it definitely deadened the sound in the room. So when you're in there, it's nice and quiet.
There you go.
Anything you want to add, Billy Bob?
The camera might not pick it up, but as Mark said, all of these are curved edges, so it's pretty special how the noise just is so silent in here when you close the front door. The tracking system, I mean, this is the bit that at the start I was doubting. I was almost like, this is where like it seemed to be extra work. But the cool thing about this is for any height, you can move up and down, and it stays in its position once it's set, which is really cool.
So can we show Billy just on the ceiling itself, where the track starts? So yeah. On the ceiling there, those tracks are on rollers. So those tracks roll forward, backwards, left and right. I can't quite see it there. There you go. Okay, so those tracks roll left, forward, back and right. So it allows your PC that we've got there, your mics, your keyboard, your camera, and your lighting to sit in any position. So the problem that we had was when everything was centralized on a tripod, it was limited to one location. So you couldn't actually, get the height right on a light because the light was attached to the same pole. So that tracking system's I think it's called a Pentagon. There's 9 of those scissors. It's like a scissor lift. And those things actually roll around in a 360 direction, so they can go up, down, left, right, back, forward, and so you can get your camera perfect. It is a live show, guys, so I'll see if we've got any questions here. What is Lisa saying? We wanted to make the real estate easy for people by doing the podcasts. 8 years ago now, people thought we were crazy when we built the office. I know Luke likes his live, so he's looking at this thinking there's a couple of good ideas sitting in there for him, hopefully. Okay, so back to the studio. So Billy, can we assume the position that you'd be in for filming?
Yeah, so that's on the other side. Let me take a walk. Well, you can be standing or sitting. You've got a luxury here. But this is kind of where I'm standing on that 7:45 a.m. on the Monday, Tuesday. That's our new camera. Turned into an iPhone.
So after researching all the cameras, and I was willing to spend anything on this studio because of the amount that we use it and what it means to our business. Believe it or not, the ideal thing personally for us was an iPhone. I loved iPhone because the technology was constantly changing and it wasn't hard to swap out. So every year we can swap out the iPhone, just plug and play. When we had a camera before, we had a very, 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 very expensive camera, but we're reluctant to change it regularly as technology moved because it was a beast. So it sort of aged. But the iPhone gave us that allowance to just move as tech moves. And it's a super clear picture, Bill?
I have to say, in terms of pictures, guys, this was as good as the big camera Mark was talking about. So it was pretty impressive in that regard that you could actually, as you say, have something as simple as an iPhone plug in and work alongside your computer and everything else to give you the best picture.
Now then we've got a PC there. So we're actually running a Mac Mini, which sits there. So there's the keyboard and trackpad.
So that's
and
on the
why
other
that
side.
Keyboard, Charles?
The Mac Mini. Do you want to go into that little room in the box?
Why not?
Why not?
So basically, just before we do, all of the cables for that Mac Mini run up the Pentagon. There's cable tracking that goes up through there. They then go in. There's a concealed. It hasn't been finished off the street at the moment, but there's a concealed track that runs 2 lengths of that whole room. So that green pops off. There's a green strip that pops off that holds cables. We throw the cables up into there, and then that goes along to the wall, down the wall. We're going to show you where the Mac Mini is. So there's a monitor, there's a keyboard, there's a mouse, there's a tray. In that wall where you're looking at is the Mac Mini, and this has all been. We haven't actually done everything sexy yet until it's all running perfectly. Then it'll all get sexified in there. So there's your Mac Mini.
And that's got some of the other cables in there.
What a mess.
Well, this is the engine room. We're in the engine room.
That's the engine room. And that'll get tidied up once we've finalised that everything's in the right place and everything. Then the electrician will come back and sexy everything up.
Some great insulation here.
Oh, look at that!
You could sleep in here. It's that insulated. But yeah, this is where it all comes back to. It's awesome.
And that's got a door that closes on it, little door that goes over the top.
Bang. That's it. The sound, we've covered the vision, we've covered the lights, we've covered the cable management.
Oh, microphone. How do we do microphone and how do we do sound speaker?
Sound speaker, Sonos, it's still plugged in, so we can get the sound from there. Pretty cool. But the microphone,
that's a Sonos.
Game changer. Game changer. I actually took it out for this morning because I thought I'd be using it, but it's this little bad boy. The DJI, we've covered it up with a sticker. Plug-in microphone. Mark, you found this at Arik, right?
I found that at Arik, and guys, what I learned from the way that we've put this studio together is it's got to be absolutely, keep it simple, stupid. So the DJI mics we've put into permanent power. The keyboard and mouse, which are wireless, we've put into permanent power. So a lot of it has to be set up so people can just point and shoot and go, because not a lot of people are proficient with tech, and they literally just want to stand there and press a button. So it had to be real bloody simple.
Yeah, which these things are. So they come in a charging case. You've just seen the mic plug-in that I showed you. These are the mics. You got two of them that can actually roam around freely, and one goes on like your lapel. The other can be with another person if you're interviewing them, and the sound quality is just perfect. Perfect.
And I think that's the green room. Welcome, Mr. Green Room.
You're going to get a lot of hours, a lot of use, a lot of love. It's great addition.
It's so good. It's so good. So guys, if you want any tips or tricks or help, feel free to call us. We can tell you. Or if you want to come in and see the green room, if you're in DY, pop in. You know what? If you want to use the green room, we had the former president of the REI, Leanne Pilkington, come in and use our green room. She christened it as the first guest. If you want to use it, come on in.
Taking bookings now.
Taking for free, taking bookings now. Hey, Billy, can you chuck us back on?
Yep. Yeah, sorry. I got a little bit carried away there.
All right.
That's the green room.
There you go. Have a great day.
See you later.
Thanks, Bill. Cheers, mate. Bye, everyone.
Bye.